day, whatever, I don't even know anymore. And I'm here looking at the bus, and it looks like he's gone ahead to take out the windows. I guess we're resealing windows today. I was going to show you what we came up with, the floor plan, which has changed 3 times already. But I guess let's look at what's going on with the windows. Are you resealing windows today?
Yep.
I didn't realize it was going to be so easy to take the windows out. I mean, granted, I did none of that work.
You just walked out!
I know. Was it hard to take them out?
A couple of them were. It's all silicone, not that butyl tape stuff, so...
Is it supposed to be?
Everything that I read, it was supposed to be the butyl tape or butyl cloth. But it looks like they just put a little bit of seam sealer on the outside here where these trim pieces come over. It must be a Thomas bus thing. I don't know, so, but I'm going to put the butyl tape here, and then we'll trim it off. And I have some lap sealant that I'm going to seal these corners so I think it leaks. If this isn't sealed here, it leaks and then it's coming in here. That's where the rust came from the backside of the bus thing.
And this, we can put the emergency hatch windows in the bunk room, right?
It should be all the same.
So we did start marking out the floor.
Yeah, they're all the same. So we'll move those around to wherever you want.
That's our blue tape. Awesome. So I guess I can kind of walk you through our layout, what we think. So I'm on the stairs right now to try to get as much of the floor plan in as possible. And Jeff is there. He's still pulling out windows as best as he can. So our thought was here is that, you know, from the blue tape over, right? This is like the engine. So there's not a whole lot of wiggle room there because that's obviously where the driver's seat has to go. He initially does plan on reusing that chair. We'll have it like recovered and everything because it's not the most comfortable, but obviously like that is the one that came with the bus. It's the one that has a seatbelt in it. It's the one that was bolted to the floor.
I don't want to spend $1,200 on a new seat.
And a new seat is $1,200. So as long as that one is safe and reusable, we will reuse that one. So we'll put it back. We have it marked out on the floor exactly where it was. We'll rebolt it to the floor. What we do need to do is we need to get my seat, a co-pilot seat, which we're going to put right here. So obviously you can see the 2 wheel wells. We don't have a whole lot of wiggle room with those, right? Like we can't move them. The plan for my seat is so that when I can sit here when he's driving is to get one of those RV seats that also have the seat belts, but they make ones that like swivel and then lock into place so that on top of this wheel well will be the dinette. And then we saved a bus seat, and so that's the tape here behind it, and that's the measure out for the original bus seat. Again, we have it all taped out for the floor so it can go back to the original frame, and that will be Tegan's seat. It's a 2-person seat. We'll make sure that it has a seatbelt. Again, we want to make sure that while we're driving, it's the safest. All of the seats will be rated for this vehicle. They will all have seatbelts. They will all be attached to the frame. So the blue tape right now is just sort of like, these are like our no-go, we can't do anything with, right? So like that's this line, we know that we can't put anything forward here. That's this line, we know that Jeff's seat goes here. And so the rest of it is kind of like, okay, this is where we have a little bit of wiggle room. This wheel well, this whole side is where we're thinking kitchen's going. So you can see Jeff is standing on a blue line. Initially, we were thinking that would be like the edge of the kitchen. As far as kitchen space goes, I'll be honest, I have never once cooked inside our camper. Not once. Not even, I mean, maybe I used the microwave to heat something up that I probably bought at one of the camp stores. We used the coffee machine. Maybe I've used the toaster for like Eggos at some point. for Tegan because she was hungry and she eats breakfast. But most of the time when we're cooking, when we're camping, like we're cooking outside on our like camp grill thing. And honestly, I'm not even the one who does that. Jeff is the one who does all of the cooking when we camp. So even though like we want counter space, right? Because like we need prep space, we don't need a whole lot of like, oh my gosh, cook space. Like we're not looking to put an oven in. I've literally never used an oven camping. I barely use the oven I have at home. So putting that in this camper is not, that's not our priority, right? So we're looking at like a little 2-burner stove, obviously a sink, right? So like I want the sink in closest proximity to the table. So if the table's gonna be here, we're putting the sink someplace over here, obviously behind the wheel well, because we need to be aware of like drain pipes that has to go straight down to something, I don't know. The underneath of the bus is on him, right? Like he has to deal with drains, and then if we're plumbing things to 2 separate gray tanks or like plumbing things together for gray, that's not on me, right? Okay, so we're thinking that the fridge is gonna go here. We have it marked out, right? See this little gray space? We are thinking about using just an apartment sized fridge. Again, we are looking at, if we're in the bus for a week, 10 days tops, I think we'll be fine. If it's, you know, and really we eat a lot of like fresh foods, and the only thing that's really going in our fridge is like salads, lunch meats, dinner type foods that we're going to be putting on the grill. So we don't need a huge fridge space. There are only 3 of us and the dogs, right? So it's not like we're making this work for us. The fridge that we're looking at, we're going with an apartment sized fridge because it's something that we can hook up to either the generator or shore power. Eventually we'll look into solar, but that's not something that we're worried about right now. So again, across from the fridge, this is all gonna be like kitchen counter, kitchen center, up to this blue line. From this blue line to this blue line is probably going to be like our entertainment area. God, you can walk in front of me. I'm videoing you as much as possible. I know how much you love that. I won't stand behind you though in case the window breaks. Please don't break the window. Okay. So where Jeff is standing right now will probably be where we put the TV, right? So like when we go camping and it rains, right? Like I don't mind sitting outside under the awning in the rain because we just make the best of it. However, like Tegan likes to come inside and hang out with her friends, and they run around, they play video games, they play board games, they do whatever. So it's important for us to have a space for her to be able to do that. So she can take her little video game console, hook it up to a TV, which will be over here somewhere. We will probably put storage for her underneath that and build it in. Just little drawers. Maybe it'll, like, that's where the coffee machine will go, or anything, you know, extra kitchen space as far as we need stuff for the dogs, you know, that kind of stuff will be over here. Board game storage, things like that. This large rectangle, we've measured that out to be, these are RV twin size bunks. So we measured that out. Our initial thought is to put 2 bunks. We don't need 3. I've seen plenty of people do 3 deep. I don't have that many kids. I definitely don't need that much space. And after a lot of debate, we were even thinking we don't even need the 2 bunks. What I would prefer to have is like a futon on the bottom so that there's a place for people to like sit, hang out, and then if she has a friend stay over, have that fold out for them to have a place to sleep, and then her bunk be on top. What is really super important to me is that these windows here, that one of these is the emergency exit window. So initially, I can't show you because they're all gone, none of these windows were that window, but Jeff says all of these windows are the same size, so it doesn't matter. So one of these windows will be a hinged window that she will have an emergency exit. God forbid something happens and she needs to get out of the bus quickly and safely from her bed, she will be able to do so, because to me, super, super, super duper important. So moving on. So this blue space will be her bunk room. We'll probably do a little wall or something cute on top, like she'll get to design it. There'll be lights and everything in it. Okay. So moving on to the extra weirdly shaped box on the floor. That's our emergency door. I don't know, what would you call it? It's not a box, but it's weirdly shaped. I just gotta look. I think you missed the look because I was zoomed in on the floor, but he definitely gave me a look. There's our emergency door, right? We want that to be able to come into the bathroom from the outside. So at first we thought, oh my God, that's so great. We're gonna have a bathroom from the outside. And then we realized how many problems that's gonna pose with like where we're gonna put stuff in the bathroom. But we've made it work. So one of my biggest pet peeves is walking through a room to get to a room. I hate it in new builds, right? You see all the new builds, you have to walk through a bathroom to get to a closet. That's like the worst thing in the world to me, and I'll never, ever, ever in a million years buy a house that has that. However, to make the most space without having to do like a split hallway and without having like a bathroom that like you're literally sitting like with your feet in the hallway to use the toilet, I feel like this is the only option we have. So for our bedroom, we will have to walk through the bathroom to get to our bedroom. I'm willing to make that sacrifice because it gets us a usable bathroom space. So we will have an outside door. Obviously it's gonna be lockable, we're gonna change it, whatever. Toilet's probably gonna go in the corner. Vanity is gonna go over by the wheel well. And then we're gonna get a normal sized corner shower so that Jeff is not hunched over and all of the walls touching him, and he'll be able to shower like a normal person when he's camping. So that will be really great. The bathroom and the sleeping spaces are pretty much the most important things to us, and so that was one of the main positives of why we're building this bus, because we can design this for what works for our family, and the bathroom space is one of those things that is important. And I'm willing to sacrifice this because how many people are going to be walking through the bathroom to get to my bedroom? Really only me and Jeff. And if he's disgusting, then he's sleeping on the couch. So
there's a shower right there. I'll sleep in the shower.
There you go. He can sleep in the shower. So the curve here is going to be the bathroom door. I feel like it has to open in. I don't know. We haven't. Or it's going to open towards her bunk. I don't know. We haven't really figured that out yet. And then here is going to be probably like a weird sliding door to like get to our room. And then from here, there's a lot of shit back there. But this will be our bedroom. And so over the wheel wells, probably one side is going to be storage for the bathroom. Our current camper has zero storage in the bathroom. There's no place to put towels, there's no place to put toiletries, anything like that. So one side's going to have storage for the bathroom. The other side, well, maybe shallow storage for the bathroom, and then the other side, storage for us. And then the other side would definitely be my side, for storage for the bedroom. The space between the wheel wells is basically going to just be open space, because I hate standing in our bedroom in the camper right now and not being able to get dressed. It's a very weird, awkward position. Like you have to like, it's just weird. If you've ever been inside of a camper where the camper has its own clean room, you know what I'm talking about when you're trying to get dressed, and if there are other people in your camper, like it's weird. There's just not a whole lot of space to like get dressed. So that was one of the things that we were avoiding. And again, too, with the bathroom being right here, I'll be able to open the door and like I'll have even extra space. I mean, not that like I'm getting ready for ball gowns or anything like here. However, it will be nice to have the space to be able to do that. So we've measured this out for a king size bed. That's what we have in our home, and that's what I'm spoiled with, and that's what I love, and I'm not willing to give it up. But it will pretty much go almost all the way from wall to wall. It's gonna leave about 4 inches on either side, and what we're gonna do is we're just gonna make it like weirdly long nightstands, and the top of it is just gonna fold up, and it's gonna either be one side will probably be like electrical, and the other side is just gonna be storage. And then the whole back, I don't know if you can see it from here, the whole back, we're just gonna leave that as just more storage space. We do plan on leaving the window. Again, that's an emergency exit, really important to me. And then we're just gonna finish it off. I love the window, we're keeping the window. I don't wanna cover the window. We're keeping all of the windows. I mean, it will all be very dark. I promise I will have the best blackout curtains available. I'll probably make them. It's fine. This hatch will be in our room. The other hatch will be in like the main kitchen living area. We'll put fans and air conditionings and all of those crazy things and all throughout the bus. So yeah, so that is our, I think, the final floor plan for what we've settled on. It might change because it's changed 3 times already, right? How many times has it changed?
Yeah, probably 3 times.
Yeah, probably 3 times.
The
But
only thing that might change is the bathroom door position.
what would you do differently with it?
Put the hinges closer to Tegan's bed so that it opens up the bathroom when you open the door. It's more of a walk-in. It's open more for the toilet in the corner.
Okay. I mean,
because the toilet's right here. So if I move the door and it hinges here, it'll give you an extra 10 inches on that side.
I don't love the door opening into her bed though. Right. So see, and this is why things change. Could the door open towards like the living space? Like could it hinge out this way?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not opening into her.
Yeah. But
And this is what we do, right? We argue about these things. Eventually we come to a compromise over what
usually
works.
it's I just do it and that's what she's got to live with.
Yeah, that happens too. But there's always a rhyme or reason about why he's doing it that way. I have no concept of like the actual logistics for why these things happen because I don't build the things. This is not what I do. I just conceptually design them and then he tells me, nope, that's not going to work. We have to do it this way.
She's like the engineer. It works on paper, it doesn't work in real life.
True story. True story. So that's where we're at. And it looks like we'll be sealing windows today. It's 84 degrees outside, so it's probably about 96 degrees inside this bus. But I don't think there's rain in the forecast, so it's probably a good day to seal windows. So that's it. That's where we're at. What are you about to do? Tell me what you're doing. But why though? So we put down some kind of tape. What is it called?
Butyl tape.
Butyl tape. And he cleaned it with something that smelled really gross. The outside of the window, the inside of the window. Some of them he had to take like a wire brush to, and then we put like a little smudge, it's a very technical term, a smudge of silicone on the corners of some of the windows, and we are just about ready to start putting the windows back in. So let's see how this goes. Want my help? That's it? Really? We've abandoned the butyl tape. It is making an absolute mess. We don't seem to be creating a good seal. We've just spent a lot of time cutting off the excess on the outside. The stuff never dries. It's the consistency of like wet, sculpy clay. If you have kids, you know exactly what that is. So it's not easy to work with. And on the sides, what we're trying to get it to stick to is this really thin little edge. And so our thought process here is maybe we'll just run it along the bottom, sit the window in so we don't get any water pooling on the bottom, and then put a real thick bead of caulk around the outside so that we don't get any water coming in, because it seems like the water coming in is coming in from the corners.
And the bus company didn't use it, so we're not going to use it.
And the bus company didn't use it, so we're not going to use it. And it's also one of those things that I think we could probably just caulk as we find trouble spots.
All they did. No, all they did was caulk the seams. It's the inside corner that was caused the 2 leaks that we had with the bus. So
Okay, so if we just caulk the inside seams, and that's where we will use the butyl tape because we have a whole big box of it. So we're gonna use it, and if we can just keep the water from pooling, I think on the corners. That's not hand cleaner.
it works.
All right. So, yep, so we've abandoned that. We're on to the next.